everybody, and welcome to this edition of Let's Talk. I'm your host, Zach, and today we have a special guest. Morgan Balarjan is joining us on our panel today. And I'm also here with the rest of my power panel.
Ksenia Semenova.
And Riley Livingston.
And every once in a while, somebody does something that bothers us. We call them pet peeves. Almost like that episode of Family Guy. You know what really grinds my gears? And also, it could be minor things like leaving the toilet seat up, or just as one example. So my question to the panel is, what are your biggest pet peeves?
All right, so when we said pet peeves, the first thing that comes to my mind is you need to call a customer service line for something, and you're on the phone on hold for like 30 minutes or so, and time passes, you're listening to that elevator music, and then you get the robot voice that hits you with, your call is very important to us. Is it really that important to you if nobody can help?
You're leaving me on here for an hour. It must really be that important.
Exactly, and you're only calling at last minute anyway. It has to be the last resort to call that sort of line.
Last resort.
You've Googled every answer. You're on Yahoo forums, on Reddit, trying to figure out how to solve your problem.
Yeah.
Exactly. But your call is very important to us.
Sure it is.
That grinds my gears.
Yeah.
You know what also really kind of grinds my gears? And I have a whole list, so just bear with me here. You know when you go to the self-checkout and it says, oh, well, ask us how we did today. I'm like, you didn't do anything. I scanned the items. I did it.
No, my least favorite thing about those self-checkouts, though, is that I go to the self-checkout because I don't want to have to socially interact with anybody, but then something goes wrong, and the light starts blinking, and then I have no choice, and the person has to come over there and help me with my stupid little bag because it didn't do what it was supposed to do.
Unexpected item in bagging area.
I know!
Yeah, and
Thank you, Captain Obvious.
Please place the item in the bag.
But also, this happens, and this seems to be everybody's pet peeve, when you're doing the self-checkout and they come up and tell you, oh, you're scanning it wrong. I'm like, I'm doing your job. You don't have the right to tell me I'm scanning it wrong. Anywho, my other pet peeves, people, not anybody at this table or in this room for that matter.
But just people in general?
People are too slow. They in the grocery store, in the aisleways, they also crowd up.
Yes.
And it's just just grab your meat and go, for crying out loud.
So I agree with that to an extent, but I also think certain people are too fast. Have you ever tried walking with Zach? He speed walks at a whole other level.
Am I being attacked on my own show here?
Which is hilarious. It's not even like a pet peeve. I'm just flabbergasted that it's even possible because I am a very fast walker because I have very short legs. So there's people in my family who are taller than me and I walk faster than them. So I typically walk pretty fast. But even if I walk fast, Zach will be halfway down the block and I have to run to catch up with him. He speed walks on a whole other level and it's hilarious. So that's why he thinks most people are slow is because he walks really fast. But
no,
I
people
digress.
are generally slow. There's a meme. It says I get road rage just walking behind people.
People in the mall, I don't like walking around people because they walk into you, they don't move out of the way, they walk too slow in front of you. Walking with people is annoying.
All right.
So I do agree with that.
So before we head on to Ksenia to wrap us up, I reached out to you on social media just to see kind of what other people's pet peeves are. Clearly asking a question about pet peeves is somebody's pet peeve. So we have one here. It says, people that line up for miles and miles in a construction zone rather than learning to zipper. Arg. Yes. Yes. Everybody moving to the other side. Arg.
People don't know how to merge. Yeah.
Pretty
driving things.
By the way, if you've ever driven in Toronto, it's a sport.
Yeah.
It really is a sport. That's an Olympic sport.
Nobody knows how to merge or let people in or anything. That's why we have accidents all the time.
That is exactly why. And have you ever noticed there's more cars flipping over?
Yes.
Windsor drivers are bad, but then you add in that there's always road construction being done in Windsor, and it's how do you win? The people on the road are bad, the roads are bad, and it's everything factors against you.
Sometimes I'm afraid that why I'm not a goose in this country because I cannot cross the road normally. Nobody stops in front of me. But for the goose, you're welcome to be a goose in this country. This is my pet
pet peeve. Yes.
Pat. I'm not that Pat of this country, so I'm not a goose in this country. This what really bugs me. I cannot.
Pedestrians don't have the right of way,
but
the Canadian geese do.
Yes.
You have more rights in this country if you're a Canada goose.
Yes, that's for sure.
It's true.
Have you ever noticed about construction, people will complain that the roads aren't being fixed. But when the roads are being fixed, the roads are being fixed. I can't go
and I
anywhere.
can't go
Exactly.
This, they will put there as a sign that here will grow a new tree, and after this, a few years, the growth will be again like this because of the roots.
Yes.
And here we need to make a construction new again.
Yes, over and over and over
Yeah.
again. It's never ending.
All right, Xenia, what do you?
I don't know. I also don't like people. I don't like some people that bothering other people, especially when they're sitting in their homes. Like, for example, I don't know. My it's not other people. There are a lot of pasts, and people, some pasts are too. I have a lot of bad situations in my life, and there are some other countries that also, unfortunately, they're feeling not very welcome with their neighbors, and their neighbors attacking them. So I think everybody has this kind of situation about our neighbors in the buzzing them, bugging them with the drills in the morning too. I think it's also
Yes.
bugging everybody.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think for today, you have something more for today?
No, I think you also raised
Yeah,
a pretty
I
good
raised-
point in our discussion this morning.
I'm not sure if think yes.
Yeah, you can talk about it.
Go ahead.
Yeah, like the thing is that, for example, for me, okay, I'm not a goose in this country. Yes, so it's really it's a thing. For me, after the situation in my country, it's not a lot of stuff that are really bugging me too much because there are like situations like wars, the deaths, this
Yeah.
happens. So you're not looking at the small stuff anymore, and you don't
Yeah.
care about them. And so it would be just nice if we live in the peaceful world and
Yeah.
everybody will be happy and we don't care more about this small stuff or
Yeah. In reality, it's all like first world problems, right?
Yes.
We should just. I think we are. We're all grateful and
We're-
happy just to be alive and to be
We're-
here.
we're in
I thought that was a good point.
So put the sit down when you go to the toilet, okay? Because the
seat
seat is
down.
around.
Put the seat, I always put the seat down. I'm just going to be clear. Yeah, it's just, it's like, we're just looking for reasons. We're an entitled country. Hold your tweets. But yeah, that's really what we are. We're an entitled country. Anywho, that's it for this episode. If you want to chime in, you can comment down below. You can catch the full episode of the show on Zack Attack Productions YouTube channel. Keep talking to each other. Bye. Bye.
Bye.